Attention, all the news in this video are from all around the internet and from our sources. We deliver to you the most realistic news. Also make sure to read the description.
Agent of Arsenal star Hector Bellerin arrives for transfer talks with club in effort to facilitate exit after deadlock. The agent of Hector Bellerin has arrived in London to stage talks with Arsenal in an effort to bridge the gap between the Gunners and interested parties as the defender wishes to leave this summer. James Benge of CBS Sports first reported the development, which will see technical director Edu Gaspar meet with Bellerin's agent as clubs like Inter Milan and Atletico Madrid eye the star's services. Arsenal have so far been unable to strike a deal for Bellerin, as they are demanding the obligation of a transfer at the very least, whilst the likes of Inter and Atleti want a loan with a permanent option. Football. London adds that a number of teams from Italy and Spain are in talks with Bellerin's representative, with it explicitly noted that the ex-Barcelona Academy star has a desire to play in Serie A. Now seems like the right time for the Gunners to move on from Bellerin. Mikel Arteta only handed the ace 3 appearances in the side's final 13 Premier League matches last season. Bellerin has made 239 appearances over his 10 years at Arsenal, winning the FA Cup 3 times, as well as landing a spot in the PFA Team of the Year for the 2015-16 season. This update on the Bellerin situation seems to suggest that the claims from one reporter on a deal with Inter Milan being practically concluded are premature, or at least subject to this impasse being broken. Arsenal player Harry Clarke expected to go out on another season-long loan. The main thing for a young player going out on loan is to keep improving and gain experience at a higher level, and Arsenal youngster Harry Clarke was impressive during a loan spell with Oldham last season. The former England U17 international isn't going to get into the senior team just now, so another loan spell looks like the best option, and Football Insider have indicated that he's headed north next season. It's believed that he will have a medical tomorrow with Ross County, and it's a move that could bring out the best in him next season. County have been an interesting team to watch over the years, as they've only just avoided relegation in recent years, while their location often leads to a high turnover in playing staff each year. They bring a lot of players up from England, but Dingwall is a small village in the Highlands and there's not a lot to do, so Malky Mackay will need to get this team to gel quickly. Clarke should see plenty of playing time, and his development will be helped by playing against some strong teams, so it will be interesting to see how he adapts. Arsenal could pay another £20 million on Ben White. The Express claims, as per the Star, that Arsenal are set to complete a deal to sign Brighton defender Ben White for £50 million. But the Gunners might end up paying a lot more than that to get the England star in the coming weeks and months. That is because of a pricey £20 million clause in the deal. White, 23, has enjoyed a brilliant couple of seasons. Firstly, starring on loan at Leeds, he played every minute of their 49 games in 2019-20. Leeds and White gained promotion. Then, at Brighton, he caught the eye in the Premier League enough to book his place in England's Euro 2020 side. Now, a move to Arsenal is on the cards. White is believed to have undergone the second part of his medical on Thursday. The Star claim he could cost Arsenal a whole lot more than just £50 million. A sell-on clause included could see Arsenal have to pay another £20 million for White. Of course, the potential sell-on clause is subjective to how much Arsenal receive for the future sale of White, if of course they do sell him. But going off the current figure Arsenal are paying, £20 million is seemingly the fee. The question is, are Arsenal paying Brighton too much for White? Manchester United are paying less to get Raphael Varane, as many fans have pointed out on social media over the last few days. So, with £50 million already on the table, surely Arsenal are paying far too much to have to include a sell-on clause in the deal. White really needs to play very well. Sassuolo chief sets transfer deadline for Arsenal target Manuel Locatelli. Sassuolo CEO Giovanni Carnevali has set a transfer deadline for midfielder Manuel Locatelli, who is on the radar of Juventus and Arsenal. The Italy international made a good impression at the European Championships this summer, and he has been fancied to pursue a bigger challenge. The Gunners are keen on luring him to the Premier League, and they have reportedly made an opening bid worth €40 million for his services. However, Locatelli has the preference to stay in Serie A with his dream club Juventus, which has stalled the prospects of signing him. In an interview with Sky Sport Italy, Carnevali confirmed that the club will hold direct talks with the Bianconeri to discuss the future of Locatelli. He added that the club are willing to sell their prized asset to the Turin Giants, but they need to pay the right fee to secure an agreement. He said, "Tomorrow, we'll have direct contact with Juventus for Locatelli. He wants to join Juve. We'd be happy to sell Manuel to Juve, but they need to pay the right fee." Carnevali also said that the Gunners have made a bid while a new English club has joined the race. He refused to rule out Locatelli staying at the club. Arsenal made a bid to sign him, and also a new English club is now in the race. So he needs to decide, or he could stay, he added. "If we receive an important bid, we will discuss it and take a decision together with the player. But we're not selling our stars later in August." In a separate update from Fabrizio Romano, it has been revealed that the Serie A outfit won't be selling any of their leading players after August 8. Sergio Dest turns down Arsenal to fight for place at Barcelona. Sergio Dest has decided to stay put and fight for his place in Barcelona's starting lineup despite Arsenal's attempts to lure him to the Premier League. According to ESPN, the United States international has turned down the Gunners, Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund and fancies his chances at Camp Nou. Barcelona paid Ajax around €20 million last September to land Dest, tying the right-back down to a 5-year contract. The 20-year-old quickly established himself as a first-team regular under Ronald Koeman, mainly due to Sergi Roberto's long-term injury. During his first season in La Liga, Dest made 30 top-flight appearances, scoring twice and assisting once. The Catalan juggernauts are well stocked at right-back, with Roberto, Emerson Royal and Oscar Mingueza also staking their claim for a regular starting berth. Despite Barcelona's immense financial struggle, they have no intent on moving the prodigious youngster on. Arsenal and Bayern were hopeful of taking advantage of the Spanish's side situation to wrap up a deal for Dest, but they will have to look elsewhere in their pursuit of a new right-back. The Gunners sounded the player out on the prospect of moving to the Premier League but received a negative response. They are preparing for life after Hector Bellerin, who is increasingly likely to leave the Emirates Stadium in the coming weeks. Arsenal opened talks to sign Lyon midfielder Bruno Guimaraes. Arsenal have opened talks with Lyon over a potential £30 million deal for midfielder Bruno Guimaraes, according to GOOOO. Gunners manager Mikel Arteta would love to land Sassuolo midfielder Manuel Locatelli, but a deal is proving difficult, with Juventus also keen on the Italy international. Arsenal have now identified Guimaraes as an alternative, with the League One outfit open to selling as they are struggling to balance the books after losing Memphis Depay on a free transfer to Barcelona. The Gunners need to get quality players this summer if they want to qualify for Europe next season after disappointingly missing out last term, and their long-term target would be a solid addition. The Brazil international is already valued at double the fee Lyon paid for him, and the North Londoners have shown a willingness to splash the cash this summer. Arsenal director of football Edu knows his compatriot well, having kept tabs on him for a while. Brazil national team manager Tite likened the 23-year-old to Manchester City star Kevin De Bruyne due to his creativity and speed, insisting he can become just like the influential Belgian on the field of play. Arsenal lack such a player in their ranks, and it is no surprise that they could only finish 8th in the Premier League table last season. The former Atletico Paranaense star played in a defensive midfield role last term, ending the season with 3 goals and 1 assist in 33 league games, and a move to the Premier League to prove himself could be appealing to him. Chelsea prepared to drop Tammy Abraham's £40 million asking price after London rivals show no interest. After a complete lack of interest from West Ham and Arsenal in Chelsea's Tammy Abraham, as a result of the striker's asking price of £40 million, the Blues are preparing to slash the fee in order to move on a player that has no future under Thomas Tuchel. It's believed that David Moyes would love to see Abraham move across the capital and provide a decent foil up front for Michail Antonio, but he's being priced out of the market at present. The Sun report that the West Londoners could be willing to lower the asking price to £35 million, albeit Moyes would need another £5 million lopped off in order to be able to begin negotiations. Arsenal would enter the bidding, opening up the possibility of an auction between the two London clubs. It isn't known what the player's own preference is at this stage, other than the belief that he doesn't see a future for himself at Chelsea. With only 2 weeks to go until the start of the new Premier League campaign, it's imperative for Tuchel to oil the wheels and get the deal moving, or risk having an unhappy player in his ranks during the first half of the season. Romano says that Arsenal could make late move to sign Ruben Neves. Fabrizio Romano has suggested on the Don Robbie YouTube channel that Arsenal's interest in Ruben Neves could ramp up in August. Arsenal have been linked with Wolverhampton Wanderers midfielder Neves for some time now. However, Romano says that Neves isn't actually one of Arsenal's top choices. And he thinks that Mikel Arteta's side will only push to sign the £35 million rated midfielder, Athletic, late on in the transfer window, once they have explored other options. I continue saying that he's in the list for Arsenal. Also because the Locatelli deal is getting more complicated, he said. So he's on the list for Arsenal, but he's not the main option as of today. We have to consider him as an opportunity maybe in August. There is nothing imminent, but it is something to keep an eye on August for both clubs, United and Arsenal. He is not the main option, so they are not negotiating now to sign him immediately, but he could become an option in August. It's something to keep an eye on in the coming weeks, as there are chances for him to leave the club, but he's not sure yet. The appeal of signing Neves for Arsenal is clear to see. The Portuguese international has a great deal of Premier League experience and at the age of 24 still has room to develop. His passing range and long shots would bring a new dimension to Arsenal's team, and he could be a natural replacement for Granit Xhaka. Real Madrid could sell Arsenal target Martin Odegaard for €50 million. Real Madrid are prepared to sell Martin Odegaard for €50 million this summer if he insists on leaving, ESPN reports. Odegaard played under 400 minutes under Zinedine Zidane during the first half of last season before making the loan move to Arsenal. The Norwegian played 20 games for the Gunners. He had a positive influence with 2 goals and 2 assists while creating several other chances. The Gunners are keeping a close eye on him this summer, and they could be handed a boost in re-signing him permanently in the coming weeks. Odegaard is still undecided over his future at the Madrid Giants. If he decides to leave, the club plans to demand around €50 million for his sale. They won't entertain the prospect of another loan deal, considering their lingering debts and the need to ease some of the financial concerns. Odegaard may not be guaranteed a starting role next season, with Luka Modric, Toni Kroos and Casemiro expected to make up the club's midfield. Modric will be 36 in September, but he has shown no signs of slowing down and continues to be one of the best box-to-box midfielders around. Behind the trio, there is competition from Federico Valverde and Dani Ceballos, who is back with the club after 2 seasons on loan with the Gunners. Odegaard won't have an easy route to the lineup, and he could seek a permanent switch away from the Bernabeu outfit this summer. The Gunners are waiting for his availability. They have been linked with Leicester City's James Maddison, but Odegaard remains the prime target. Smart Maddison clause causing Arsenal problems as Gunners begin talks with Leicester City. According to recent reports, Mike Arteta's Arsenal has appointed a broker who is currently conducting back-channel talks with Leicester City over the possibility of signing midfielder James Maddison this summer. That's according to a recent report from the AFC Bell, who claims that despite still being some way apart in their valuations of the English midfielder, Arsenal is pressing ahead to test the Foxes' resolve. It has been noted that although Maddison is viewed as an important player for Brendan Rodgers' side, he is not unsaleable, and therefore could make a shock exit this summer. Arsenal Bell believes that although talks between camps are ongoing, the biggest obstacle for both sides to overcome is agreeing on a suitable fee. Prior to joining Leicester City in 2018, Maddison, who was offloaded by Norwich City, is understood to have seen his former employers insert a sell-on clause that would entitle them to between 10% and 15% of any future transfer fee. In order to maximize their profits from selling Maddison, Leicester City are likely to expect Arsenal to pay enough to cover whatever the Canaries will be entitled to. Since arriving at the King Power, the 24-year-old playmaker has gone on to feature in 118 matches, in all competitions, directly contributing to 47 goals, along the way.
We will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on our channel, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate your support.